and welcome to this edition of EMS Now Up Close. I am Eric Miskell with EMS Now, and it's my pleasure today to be speaking with Thibault Cezarine. Thibault is the USA Managing Director with CIPEM, and CIPEM is a division of the ICAPE Group. And I will let Thibault kind of explain all of that to us here in just a minute. Thibault, welcome. We have not spoken before, so I look forward to the opportunity to speak with you, get to know you a little better, and hear more about what's happening within CIPEM. So welcome to this edition of EMS Now Up Close. Why don't we begin by allowing you just to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, Eric. Thank you very much for welcoming me. That's a pleasure for me, and I appreciate the opportunity. So thank you very much. So yes, real quick, I'm Thibault. I'm right now the CIPEM USA Managing Director here in the USA, basically covering the Canadian market and the East Coast of the USA. Just regarding my background real quick, I've been working with ICAPE Group since for 5.5 years now. So I started based in China as a sales manager for Australia and New Zealand markets. So that was really good because I had the opportunity to be with the people in the service office. So as you know, we have, I would say, maybe one of the biggest service office in the world in China. And I was just there, with negotiating with factories, talking with purchasers and so on. So that was a very good chance for me. A year and a half after that, we decided to reorganize, restructure the service offices for CIPEM in China. And so I've been appointed as a procurement pricing manager, so in China, still based there. Basically, we built a team of 10 purchasers, negotiating with suppliers, analyzing specs, and sending offers to customer. So we had a very transversal vision of all the different departments within the supply chain, logistic, engineering, quotation side, purchasing, customer service, and so on. So that was a really good opportunity. And we managed during 4 years to keep all the human resources over there. So right now we have a very capable team over there in China, understanding all the aspects of the supply chain for our customers. So that's why I think we are very strong on this point, is understanding what customer needs.
Good.
That's basically it for me, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move into CIPEM then. CIPEM is kind of custom technical parts from China, essentially, right? Tell us about that business and also how it's developing here in the USA and Canada.
So before going a little bit in detail with CIPEM USA, so yes, we do custom-made technical parts. Basically, you design it and we manufacture it. Even though we have also service to help on the design parts, which opened 2 years ago. So yeah, we work basically with OEM and EMS, and we provide custom-made technical parts for several fields: automotive, medical, consumer, multimedia, industry, metering, and so on. We have a wide range of product actually, but it's easier, and I prefer to insist on the best sellers that we have. So we do custom and common cable assemblies and connectors, which is our best seller here in CIPEM. We do power supplies with wall mounts, interchangeable adapters, desktop adapters, open frame LED drivers. Also, we do a lot of low to high frequency transformers for EMS, coils and inductors, and a lot of membrane switch keypad, overlays, and silicon keypad, mostly on the HVAC field and on the automotive field here in the US and Canada. We also provide mechanical parts, and also this is mainly for HVAC and automotive field, so metal shields, heat sinks, plastic and silicone parts, covers, and so on.
Okay.
CIPEM USA, the subsidiary, opened in 2016. So during 2-3 years, there was a single person over there to develop the business, and be at a break even. Once the company started to make money, and during the last 2 years, we hired two persons. So 2 sales engineers, 1 manager account in Canada, basically covering Ontario and Quebec region, and one American guy here in the US, covering mostly New England and upstate New York.
Okay.
In terms of figures, last year, so here I'm excluding the PCB business because we also have a PCB portion of it and a lab service portion of it. CIPEM USA did a 5.5 million turnover in USD in 2021. Okay. And we are targeting a 20% increase for 2022. Okay. We are planning to hire another account manager with based here in the US, and most likely we'll be covering Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. So good business, and it sounds like it's developing and moving forward nicely.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to fight for it. It's pretty busy days, but yeah, so far so good. Everything is fine. Everything is very good.
Okay. Now, an issue that's obviously bears on your business I wanted to ask you about is the whole CSR, corporate social responsibility issue. Talk about the importance of that and the impact that's having on the industry for you.
Yeah, since 3-4 years, and even today, the CSR has become essential, really essential. So all the customers, partners, employees, they are no longer just about their economic profitability. They're increasingly moving towards companies that care about people and the environment. So, and with the demand for circuit boards, technical parts used by millions every day, this comes at significant environmental, social, and human cost. Right. So in ICAPE, we really had to put in place some solution to overcome this.
Okay. So tell me about that part of it. What is it that ICAPE has been doing to kind of address these?
I mean, there's been I would say, thousands of action, but basically I'm going to try to be squared a little bit. So what is important is that we have a CSR department and manager directly attached to the CEO with the company. So within the group, the CSR committee and the manager is overseeing the deployment of our CSR approach and is reporting to the board of directors directly. Regarding the action, I could talk more or less about the ethics aspects. And a big point for us is the equity in hiring, because today we have 600 employees all over the world, and we are covering 33 nationalities. And this enriches the culture and the expertise of ICAPE Group. Mm-hmm. So it's a crucial point for our CSR strategy to put everything in place so that discrimination in hiring does not exist in ICAPE Group. Also, we have more than 50% of our staff are women. Okay. And the gender parity on the board of directors is respected, and as well as the company. So this is also something very important for us. Okay. We are putting in place a dedicated sustainability audits of our partners' factories in China. So we have a team of trained CSR auditors based in our service office in China, so in Guangdong province and in Jiangxi province. And we are in the process of organizing development audits for all our partner factories, and all this based on the ISO 26000 standards. Okay. What can I say more? Yeah, we also launched a non-profit organization called ICAPE Planet Bleu. So that's French. It means a blue planet, which aims to support environmental, educational, and social projects. So just to give you one example, we gave financial support to a French humanitarian convoy for Ukraine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So that's more or less for the ethics aspect. And regarding the ecological one, I could talk about transportation and supply chain. So we put in place action, and we have implemented action to reduce the carbon impact on logistics with consolidation strategy, call of orders, VMI, CMI, promotion of maritime transport in quotation. So basically, when you receive right now a quotation from ICAPE Group, you have the air transport price and the sea transport price with a green leaf highlighted on the sea transport price to try to also explain to our customer our approach.
Okay.
And we're also developing rail transport towards Europe mainly.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, the approach is to for our supply chain to be with eco-friendly shipping practices, and the goal is really to try to optimize on-site resources, planning, execution, and also try to eliminate unnecessary trips.
Yeah. Okay.
We also have a brand new EV station since last year, because we're transiting slowly to a fleet of hybrid and electrical vehicles. So we are equipping all our offices with EV charging stations. We have some in France, some in Germany, some in Italy already, and this is an ongoing process that we're trying to do all over the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that for for the suppliers? Is that for your fleet? Is that for the employees?
That is for the fleet of all our sales, because our sales are on the road every day. So that's mostly for our team.
Gotcha.
And regarding the on supplier side, we try also to implement in the purchasing contract gas emission, greenhouse gas emission, I would say, footprint measure. So we try to add this inside the purchasing contract with our supplier to try to limit the emission of gas. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, because especially I know on the PCB side, it's interesting about the environmental piece, because building boards isn't necessarily the cleanest process in the world, right? So there's, although that's changed over the years. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about some of the more market insights from you on various commodities that are being used by ICAPE Group in the industry, and kind of get an update on what are you seeing on those kind of commodity things, like the laminates, the gold, the copper, the oil, all those things.
We can maybe start to talk about the laminate price, because this is also most of the business for ICAPE Group on PCB. It's basically we are 45% cheaper compared to last year, but compared to pre-pandemic, we still something like anywhere between 7 to 15% more expensive. So we are seeing an improvement. We are not there yet compared to pre-pandemic, but it's on a really good way, I would say. Regarding gold, maybe we can talk about gold also, because for the finishing of our PCBs is also something important. The US inflation data is high and the market confidence index is low. People basically tends to go on safe investment since the pandemic, I would say, and that is why the value increased a little bit for the gold since the last 2 years, and now it is steady.
Okay.
On copper, we witnessed a decrease of price since last year, and this, according to me, is mainly due to we have to be honest, a slowdown in growth, and maybe also rising of inventories.
Okay.
Regarding the oil price, as you might know, crude oil price was really high on Q1 and Q2, right? But it tends to decrease on Q3. This is what we are seeing, because the USA they added 1.28 billion barrels per day, and it represents approximately a third of Russia's supply gap. So, and since the war between Russia and Ukraine is at a standstill, the market has mostly absorbed the impact of the conflict uncertainty for the time being. So the risk premium level for crude oil has decreased a little bit. And regarding the oil price, same. Price were really high in Q1 and Q2, but tends to decrease in Q3. It's really going towards a decline. We witness it anyway. But during Q1 and Q2, the price of oil was higher than crude oil. But I mean, the price is still impacted by pandemic measures in China, for example, and also the conflict in Ukraine, which continues to increase the pressure on supply chain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So it sounds like costs are generally higher compared to pre-pandemic still, though, at this point.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said, I said, so generally speaking, costs are higher if you compare it to pre-pandemic costs.
Yeah. We had a big increase in Q1 and Q2. We see a decrease, but if you compare between pre-pandemic, of course, as I said, with the situation in China, with the zero COVID politics, and also the conflict in Ukraine, all that inside makes, of course, the price higher than pre-pandemic for sure.
You touch on an important point there, and I'd like to maybe move into that, and that's about the logistics part, because the China, what you're talking about with the shutdown, obviously that impacts the logistics and moving things in and out of China. But so tell me about kind of the related logistical challenges that the ICAPE Group faces, and kind of how you're responding to those.
First, regarding the port in Hong Kong or in Nanjing and Xiamen, there is some congestion. I have witnessed some congestion also in North America regarding ports. So in Hong Kong today, there is congestion. To be honest, it's anywhere between 7 to 10 days. But the good news also is that we have partner factories in Nanjing City and Xiamen City, and there is no congestion over there. So that's something also good. And as you just said, that transportation is really tense at the moment. Prices are really high. So we try to develop a strategic network of supply chain responses with ground transport, railway, and sea freight. So as I said before, we do a lot of consignment stock for flexible payment, also restocking ease and shorter lead time for customer. But this helps, to get the product from Asia directly to the US, for example, and to avoid the problem of congestion, problem of lead time. Mm-hmm. Also with the CMI and the VMI, which is today for me, I think the best way to manage inventory with customers, and we started to do this a year ago. And we work a lot with blanket orders and call-off orders, which is working really well for the moment. I'm doing this with our biggest customer here for CIPEM USA, mainly in the HVAC field. Okay. So we try to approach supply chain with an eye of sustainability and eco-friendly shipping practices. So the goal here is really to optimize everything and try to get the best answer for customers.
Yeah. And it's I was just reading something, I believe it was earlier this week, about logistics and how the shipping is easing a bit because of, there's greater space availability. And with the easing comes a little bit of a reduction in the transportation costs as well. So evidently that might be a positive trend here. So
yeah, I've been calling our warehouse in Montreal is pretty full right now for Canada, for the Canadian market. But mostly, there is still some space. But this is why we are also working with different warehouses all over the world. We are implementing a partnership or having warehouse. A little bit everywhere, because sometimes when it's bonded on everything, is a bit complicated for us to serve well the customer. So that is why we try to work with CMI, VMI, call-off orders, and try to get the stock directly to the location where it needs to be, and take in charge of the stock and the dispatch order.
Okay, very good. No, thank you. This has given a very good overview of kind of your activities and how you're addressing the market and various challenges that are posed. For those people watching this who are interested and might want to reach out to you, other than going through LinkedIn, I know you're on there. How can people meet you and get a hold of you?
First, thank you very much, Eric. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today and to speak a little bit about ICAPE Group and mostly the CIPEM activity. We will be at the HEPTECH in Montreal and in Quebec on the 13th and the 15th of September. So that's next week from now. Yes. So even you, Eric, you're welcome to come, and anyone is welcome to just come to see us, and we will gladly speak and explain everything about ICAPE Group and how can we help you
Yeah, exactly. And those who may not be able to get up there, they could certainly reach out to you and find you both through the CIPEM website and also through LinkedIn. So,
Yes, correct. We have the the mailbox to contact us through the website. But on my side, I'm based in Boston, so all the East area, I'm here and I can help. And I am also moving and driving a lot to Canada. So you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I mean,
yeah.
pretty easy today to do it.
No, thank you for saying that. And that also explains. I was wondering what your accent was. Now I know it's the Boston accent. That's what I hear there. So
You got me. I try to hide it, but anyway, that's pretty funny for everyone here since I arrived.
very good. Thibault, it has been a real pleasure getting to meet you and hearing more about your activities and what's happening. I wish you success, and hopefully we can catch up again in the future.
I hope so. Thank you very much, Eric. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Thibault. Take care.